Hi there. Hi, Alketa. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name wrong. I'm sure I'm not. This is Todd, and just wanted to do this by video because I think the feedback's easier and a little bit better than writing it out. So, went through the keyword list that you have here and how you chose makes sense. 96 SEO is great. I always go the higher the SEO, the better, and that's really the main thing I look at. I know that obviously you got to look at the other metrics as well, and the QSR is important. But I find that the higher the SEO score, the easier it is to rank. But you also need to get your site developed, and so that's going to take some time. Before Google recognizes you as somewhat of an expert in your niche. So, and that just takes time with content. So, I think you've got a great start. I'm over here on your site. The title of your site is My Mom and Daughter, Mum and Daughter. So I would probably put that in there because I think that's kind of cute too. Instead of Mom and Daughter, as you've got your entire site titled here, I would put the My in there. And the site's very clean, so it looks good. The only other thing I would add is over here on your borders here, that needs some space. We need some white space over there. Just as you have over here, you need some over here on the left. Otherwise, it makes it a little uncomfortable to read. I went through the article, and it's very well written. I think you did a good job on it. The only thing I really want to give you feedback on is the keywords and the placement. The last paragraph I thought could be broken up a little bit more, so there's a little bit more white space in it. But other than that, this all was pretty easy to read. I put a little bit more space in my content personally. But it's really nicely laid out and it flows very smoothly. So nice job on the content. In terms of like your keyword phrase, I've got it over here. This is Jaxie. You're probably not familiar with it because you just use the free keyword tool at Wealthy Affiliate. But this is the inside of Jaxie where you can check your rank. And so I put in your site and checked it, and it's not ranked, but you only have one article, so you wouldn't be expected to rank. But in terms of your keyword selection, when you're putting a lot of thought into articles and you're going to, eventually get them ranked, you can, always go back and update them and change them and so forth. But the things that you cannot update and change are your URL, unless you go back and create a new post and delete the old one. And so I don't want to even go down that road, and nobody really does at Wealthy Affiliate with the trainings. So I might have chose something a little bit different in terms of like that makes more sense when you naturally speak it. And there's all kinds of different thoughts on keyword selection, keyword phrase selection, but I think I try to make them make sense. I had a hard lesson on that when I first got started, and you're going to get visitors by ranking the phrase "the baby sleep through night," and you took out and you probably took out the originally from there. Just because I think they're considered stop words, but I just, like I said, I like to keep it simple, and I like to keep keyword phrases that make sense, that are easy to say, because then you'll naturally say them as you're writing out your content. And so I would have gone maybe with something a little bit more like this: help the baby sleep through the night. Again, the SEO, it's above 90. That's 91. That's still okay. So you could have gone with that. But it's fine. You're gonna get people to eventually come to your site based on the phrase "the baby sleep through night." So that's, I guess, the only thing I would say in terms of keyword placement. I use Yoast, which is a SEO tool instead of SEO, the all-in-one SEO plugin. I use Yoast, which a lot of people do, and it's nice because it can help you track your keyword placement. And in general, what they just say is make sure that it's right in the beginning of the phrase, the first paragraph of the article, which you have. I might put it here to start off with, and I might change up a little bit your wording, but it's making it so that it's clear to search engines where it is. So, when you become a parent who wants to know everything about how to help the baby sleep through the night, read this article. Period. Every year in the world, da da da. So I might change that around personally. And then I always make my intros pretty short. And then the very first header, I try to make it, if I can, it doesn't have, it's no rule, but I try to make it so that it's also the keyword phrase that I'm targeting. So you have it, in your URL, which is great, how to help the baby sleep through the night. That's actually awesome that you put the natural phrase in there, because typically you'll only put the keyword phrase that you're trying to target, the exact phrase in the URL. So actually that's kind of cool that you did that, so you can actually go back and target that phrase if you want to, because you can always change titles and you can always change content, but URLs are kind of a pain in the rear to change, and so that's great. And so I actually might make that as the very first, a short intro, boom, title, addresses the topic, and then that lets search engines know that this is really the focus of the post. I find that that's a way that I've been able to rank quicker and faster, and it's also a Yoast recommendation. And then you try to have the keyword phrase at the very end of the post, naturally, and like in the last area here, like, hey, I hope this post really has helped you learn how to help the baby sleep through the night. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave us a comment below. So that in a header, if you can put it in a header, so like these are your headers, right? And then naturally as you're talking about the topic, but the content's great, so I'm sure you'll get it to rank as you keep on writing content and start learning how to interlink your website and so forth. So that's all probably a little bit advanced, but right now you're doing awesome, so keep it up.